show to you samples of deed of absolute sale, deed of na pag motorcycle, pag lupa, pinakita ko yun sa inyo. Okay? So ngayon, moving forward, dito na ta sa about sa delivery. Sa delivery na ta mag-discuss, no? So, ay, by the way, na lupa, kung sa kang section,
Yes, ma'am.
section,
I'm M3G po.
3G. Okay. Then, every time magtawag ko para to help me with reading or the PowerPoint presentation and like nalupa for participating by praying, no, nakoy karapatang points as what I said sa previous na class na ko, hindi ko kabalo kung asa ako ibutan sa attendance or direct sa exam. Okay? So, yun lang. Now, moving forward, din na mag-discuss about sa delivery. Okay, delivery. Tadayo na sa delivery. So, first, I call on Vince Louis Taiping. Vince Louis Taiping for please read the slide projected.
Kaya tanan, ma'am.
Yes, anong section ka? G.
3G po.
Okay.
Under Article 1499, the delivery of movable property may likewise be made by the mere consent or agreement of the contracting parties, if the thing sold cannot be transferred to the possession of the buyer at the time of the sale, or if the buyer is already in possession of the property for any other reason. Article 1500 provides that there may also be traditio constitutum possessorum. This occurs when a property is sold by the seller to the buyer, although its possession is retained by the seller. Under Article 1502, when goods are delivered to the buyer on sale or return, the ownership of the goods passes to the buyer at the time of delivery, but ownership is reverted to the seller when
The buyer,
buyer returns or tendered the goods within the period set in the contract between them,
okay,
or if no time was fixed within a reasonable time.
okay, thank you. Thank you, Taipin of Section 3G. So, we are talking about delivery because delivery is the obligation of the seller. Yun yung obligasyon ng seller to deliver the goods or the item to the buyer. So, para magkaroon ng transfer of ownership. Now, the delivery of movable property may likewise be made by the mere consent or agreement of the contracting parties. Pwede magkaroon ng delivery by pag nagsabot lang mong duha, buyer and seller, no? Delivery ng movable, okay, movable, like motorcycle, cellphone, no? So, yun yung mga movable property. Immovable, lupa, building, mga ganyan. So, pwede magkaroon ng delivery ng movable property by mere consent or agreement. If the thing sold cannot be transferred to the possession of the buyer at the time of the sale, or if the buyer is already in possession of the property for any other reason. So, kung if the thing sold cannot be transferred to the buyer sa iyang possession at the time of the sale, pero pwede pa rin silang, kahit wala yun na transfer yung physical object doon sa buyer, pwede pa rin silang isabot na, uy, magsabot na daan na consider delivered na siya. Parang ganon. Or, if the buyer is already in possession of the property for any other reason, like for example, ako, nagparenta ko kay Taipin o motorsiklo. Ang motorcycle, ginagamit niya for para mamasahero, si Taipin, no? So, karon, gunit ni Taipin ang motorcycle in the role as a renter. Ginarentahan niya. Karon, naka-decide ni nga mag-rent to own na lang ta. So, pag rent to own siya, para siyang parang na-convert mo yung contract of lease, yung rent to sale, right? So, magiging magkakaroon na ng delivery, no? Magsabot na may dual typing na okay, consider delivered na yan, maski in possession ka anak ng motorcycle as a lessee, as nagrenta lang, okay? Kaya kasi nagsabot na ta na magkakaroon tayo ng rent to own or sale dyan sa property na yan. So, in other words, ang point aning Article 1499 is that there can be delivery of movable property by mere consent or agreement of the parties. Okay? Article 1500 provides that there may also be traditio constitutum possessorium. So this occurs when a property is sold by the seller to the buyer, although its possession is retained by the seller. So pwede pa rin magkaroon ng this occurs parang delivery on the property, no? Kahit yung possession ng property is nandoon kay seller. Pero nag-agreement sila by agreement, okay? Parang nag-agree na tahan na consider delivered na yan, ha? Sa'yo na yan. Pero naalang sa sako ang mga goods, ha? Wala pa ko'y truck pang-deliver. So yun yung example ng traditio constitutum possessorium. Na kay seller pa rin muna yung property, although considered sold na siya, no, kay buyer. Sa'yo na yan. Yung mga nyug na nasa ko ang warehouse. Wala pa lang akong truck, no? So di pa na ako ma-deliver siya, pero sa'yo na yan. Okay? That's Article 1500. Article 1502. When goods are delivered to the buyer on sale or return, the ownership of the goods passes to the buyer at the time of delivery. Okay? So kung ang goods daw are delivered to the buyer on sale or return, the ownership of the goods, ang panag-iya sa goods, passes to the buyer at the time of delivery. Mapasa kay buyer ang panag-iya sa goods at the time ma-deliver ang property. But ownership is reverted to the seller, mabalik ang ownership sa seller, okay, when the buyer returns. Kung ibalik ni buyer or tenders the goods, ibalik ni buyer ang goods within the period set in the contract between them, or if no time was fixed within a reasonable time. So, ang goods, kung na-deliver kay buyer, no, matransfer sa kanya yung ownership. Pero what if, what if, gibalik ni buyer ang goods, then mabalik ko ng ownership kay seller. For whatever reason. For whatever reason. Sorry. Next, we will go with, may I call on Ruth Ann Mag-aso. Ruth Ann Mag-aso.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, section.
3G, ma'am.
Okay. Balik po ba sa sarili?
Possession or ownership in goods. Article 1503 gives some rules regarding possession or ownership in the goods. As a rule, title and the specific goods sold passes to the buyer upon their delivery to the carrier. As such, the risk or loss is borne by the buyer.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
So we will talk about possession or ownership in the goods, okay? So as a general rule, yung specific goods, yung particular na goods na yung ginabaligya, no? The title in the specific goods sold, yung nabaligya, passes to the buyer. Mapasa na siya sa buyer upon their delivery to the carrier. So for example, ako sender ko sa Shopee, okay? I use JNT as the carrier para matransport ang goods dito sa buyer na ko na si Mag-aso. Okay? So, kapag ako nga hatod ang gibaligya nga ko nga thing sa Shopee Express or sa JNT, then si JNT gina-deliver na niya ang goods padulong or ang katong thing na ginabaligya kay Mag-aso, padulong kay Mag-aso. So, the 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 title in the specific goods passes to the buyer. So ang risk of loss, ang risko, ang consequence nga mawala ang thing while gina-deliver passes to the buyer. Ma-transfer siya dito kay buyer. Ang risk of loss shall be borne by the buyer. Kung mawala ang thing, pasensya, sorry ka buyer. Baka habol siya sa seller, the buyer still has to pay the seller. Kailangan diyan po niya bayaran ang seller. Pero dili na siya magtawag ani, mag-look after or iyan ang gukuron ang shipper or ang carrier. Okay, next slide. Paliw ko ba sa Corato, Nico? Corato, Nico?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes po.
At the instances when the seller of specific goods retains a hold upon them by means of the bill of lading after her, a he of she has shipped them are A. When the goods are consigned by himself of herself. B. When the goods are consigned to the order of the buyer and the seller position of the bill of lading. And C. When the goods are consigned to a dear person with a request for the third person to retain the bill of lading of goods until payment of the price by the buyer.
Okay, thank you. So these are the instances when the sellers of specific goods retains a hold upon them by means of the bill of lading after he or she has shipped them. So, mo yung mga specific daw na mga instances or mga sitwasyon na ang seller nagyapon siya yung right to retain. Na siya yung right to retain, na siya yung hold dun sa mga things na iyang i-deliver by means through the bill of lading. After niya, even after gi-ship na niya ang goods, iyan ang gi-deliver ang goods, nagyapon siya right over the thing because of the bill of lading. Okay? Kung saan yung bill of lading class? Ang bill of lading is a negotiable document. Okay? So, usa siya ka dokumento na magpakita class, I will just take a medicine because akong nose, ha? Kadyo na. Mag-take lang ako medicine. Okay, thank you so much. Pasensya na sa interruption. No. Okay. When we talk about bill of lading, ako anong gidiscuss or gipakita sa ilaha sa previous section. This is an example of a bill of lading class. Okay, pakitunta mo. So, mo siyang example sa bill of lading. So, kamo, in the future, kung ma-assign gani mo sa NCCC or SM, maka-work mo in the future, and na-assign mo sa warehouse, so, na-assign po mo sa pag-receive ng mga items from the container van, makita ninyo ni, mo na ginatawag na ito nga bill of lading. So, sa bill of lading, makita ninyo din na kung pila ang quantity sa item, SKU number, makita ninyo dira ang weight, makita ninyo dira like 50 pieces of picture na color blue plastic picture, pencil, ana, 50 pieces, SKU number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, delivered from China, ana. So, muna siyang example sa bill of lading. Okay? This is an example of bill of lading. Kita po ninyo dira kung pila ang iyang unit price. Okay? So, kanang bill of lading, mo na nagapakita kung nagkaroon ba ng delivery. Okay? So, muna siya ang representation sa kung na-deliver ba ang item. Okay? Usually, yan yung ginagamit sa mga in practice sa SM, NCCC, ganyan. So, ang point na rin, Lo, is that these are the instances when the seller of specific goods retains a hold upon the the tawag ano yun, retains a hold upon the the goods, no? Even after he or she, the seller has shipped the item, number one, when the goods are consigned to himself or herself. Kung siya pa rin yung consignee, yung seller, inassign niya yung sarili niya as consignee on the things sold. Letter B, when the goods are consigned to the order of the buyer and the seller retains possession of the bill of lading. So the goods are consigned to the order of the buyer. So the consignation to the order of the buyer and the seller retains possession, nag-retain siya possession doon sa bill of lading. So siya pa rin yung siya pa rin yung humahawak ng bill of lading. So yan yung nagpapakita rin yan na meron pa rin siyang hold doon sa item. And letter C, when the goods are consigned to a third person with a request for that third. Yes? Yes, Corato?
Ay, sorry ma'am, napislit.
When the goods are consigned to a third person with a request for that third person to retain the bill of lading or goods until payment of the price by the buyer. So the goods are consigned to a third person. Na-consign siya to a third person, then na siya request to that person to retain the bill of lading. Sa'yo mo na yung bill of lading, hindi kay buyer, hindi kay seller, but to a third person. Then, ibibigay mo lang yung goods na yan, matatransfer mo lang yung bill of lading na yan doon sa buyer, pagbayad na talaga si buyer. Okay? So, yun yung mga situation na meron pa rin hold yung seller doon sa goods through the bill of lading. Next, may I call on Michelle Bongo. Please read the slide.
In all these three cases, the buyer bears the risk of loss. If the goods are consigned to the third person with a request for that third person to retain the bill of lading or goods until payment of price by the buyer, said third person needs either to endorse the bill of lading or deliver the goods to the buyer as soon as the price is paid. The seller of the goods draws on the buyer for the price and transmits the bills of exchange in the bill of together to the buyer to secure acceptance or payment of the bill of exchange. The seller remains the owner until the bill of exchange is paid.
Okay, thank you. Michelle Bongo from section what?
3G, ma'am.
Si Curato, anong section?
MM3G po, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Ginanote ako yung mga names para ma-familiar ko sa inyo. So, if the goods are consigned, so in all these three cases that we discussed earlier, so the buyer bears the risk of loss. Na kay buyer ang risk of loss, kung mawala ang thing, siya yung mawawalan, hindi yung seller. So if the goods are consigned to a third person, no, laing tao, dili kay buyer, dili kay seller, but to a third person, with a request for the third person to retain the bill of lading or goods. Sa'yo muna yung bill of lading, yung document, sa'yo rin muna yung goods, hanggang sa mabayaran yun ni buyer. No? So yung third person, no, yung consignee sa goods, kung saan na doon yung goods, needs either to endorse the bill of lading, ibibigay niya yung bill of lading, or i-deliver niya yung goods to the buyer as soon as the price is paid. So yung third person, meron yun siyang obligation na i-deliver yung goods doon sa buyer at saka ihatag yung bill of lading as soon as mabayla na ni buyer yung purchase price. So class, ang example gani ng mga third person dire kay kanang mga Lorenzo Shipping, yung tag-iya sa kanang mag-ship sa mga container vans. Sila yung mga example, MERS. Yan sila yung mga example ng mga tawag ani to go. Kana sila mga example sa mga consignee. Kung asa magtambay yung container van kasi dili mo na siya immediately ma-pull out sa area class kasi i-check pa yan siya sa customs. Marami pa yan siyang pagdaanan yung mga imported goods. Okay? If the seller of the goods draws on the buyer for the price and transmits the bills of exchange and bill of lading together to the buyer to secure acceptance or payment of the bill of exchange, the seller remains the owner until the bill of exchange is paid. So for example, binigay na ni seller yung bill of exchange. Yung bill of exchange, para lang yan siyang cheque, no? So, ibinigay na ni seller yung bill of exchange and bill of lading together to the buyer para ma-secure niya na yung acceptance at saka payment doon sa bill of exchange, doon sa cheque, doon sa mabayaran na, the seller remains the owner until the bill of exchange is paid. Si seller pa rin yung magiging owner hanggang sa mabayaran si seller doon sa goods. Okay? Next, maybe call on Mary Son Evido.
Yes, ma'am. Hello po.
Section
Section 3D po.
D, Delta.
Kanita na, ma'am, no? Or sa Article 1480
3D?
lang.
3D?
Yes po. Yes po.
Okay. The whole PowerPoint.
Under the principle of res perit domino, if the specific thing is lost due to a fortuitous event, the loss is to be borne by the owner of the thing at the time of the loss. That is, the buyer bears the loss and he or she must pay the price. Article 1480. The risk of the thing sold passes to the buyer even though the thing has not yet been delivered to the buyer. Consequently, the obligation of the buyer to pay the price is not extinguished by the loss of the thing before delivery. Article 1189 is that any improvement shall pertain to the buyer as a counterpart to the risk the latter assumes for the loss of the thing.
Okay, thank you, Ebido. So, ang principle of res perit domino is the owner bears the risk of loss. Kung sino yung tag-iya sa property, saka siya yung magbe-bear, siya yung kakarga ba sa risk na mawala yung property. So if the specific thing is lost due to a fortuitous event, yung particular thing kinawala because of fortuitous event, The loss is to be borne by the owner of the thing at the time of the loss. So the loss, yung pagkawala ng thing, shall be borne by the owner of the thing. It shall be borne by the owner of the thing at the time of the loss. So, yun nga yung sinabi ko. That is, the buyer bears the risk of the loss and he or she must pay the price. No? So, yung buyer, kapag siya na-transfer na sa kanya yung ownership due to delivery, then nawala yung specific thing, then siya yung magbe-bear sa risk of loss. At the same time, mababayad pa rin siya. Nagyan pa siya yung obligation to pay. Article 1418. The risk of the thing sold passes to the buyer. So, yung risk of the thing na nabaligya, mapasa na siya dito sa buyer, even though the thing has not yet been delivered to the buyer. So, the risk of the thing sold passes to the buyer kahit hindi pa na-receive ng buyer yung thing. When in transit pa lang yung butang, no, gina-travel pa lang yung butang, gina-deliver pa lang yung butang na imong gipalit, nawala siya. So, yung risk ng pagkawala niya kay cargo ng buyer. Consequently, the obligation of the buyer to pay the price is not extinguished by the loss of the thing before delivery. So, as an effect, yung buyer, nagyan mo siya yung obligation to pay the price, no? Even to pay the price, okay? Kasi hindi mawawala yung obligation niya to pay, okay? Kasi ginibear niya ang risk of loss kasi that moment na gihatod na ni seller ang item dito sa carrier, for example, kay Shopee Express, gihatod na ni seller ang item, i-deliver na niya padulong kay buyer through sa Shopee Express, no? So si buyer, kapag nawala ang thing, nawala hindi damage, nawala ang thing. So ang risk is na kay buyer. Article 1189 is that any improvement shall pertain to the buyer as a counterpart to the risk the latter assumes for the loss of the thing. So in the same manner, kung na kay risk, napod kay brand, kumbaga benefit. So what if nagkaroon ng improvement, no? So gipalit nimo ang property, bonsai, gipa-deliver nimo gikan sa Japan. Tapos namulaklak yung bonsai, no? While gina-travel ang bonsai padulong sa Davao. So yung pagbulaklak ng bonsai is considered as an improvement. So you will also reap the benefits doon sa improvement na nangyari sa item na imo gipa-deliver. Okay? So, ganoon rin yun. So, kunyari, yuta atong pag-usapan, gipalit ang yuta. At the time na gipalit ang yuta, wala pa'y kalsada. Okay? Wala pa'y kalsada. Pero karon nagkaroon ng kalsada. So, ikaw as buyer, you will also bear the improvements na nangyari doon sa pagbenta ng lupa na nagkaroon na ng kalsada. Okay? So, yun yun. Okay? So, again, kapag gina-deliver pa lang ang item, so kapag si seller, gihatag na niya ang item doon sa carrier, like sa J&T, so it is as if gina-transfer na ni seller ang ownership sa property, no? So, the buyer the bears the risk of loss while the item is in transit or gina-travel padulong sa buyer ang thing. Gina-carry niya ang risk of loss. Okay? Next, Article 1504, may we call on Mary Jim Arcelias and Argan.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes po.
According to Article 1504, unless otherwise agreed, the goods remain at the seller's risk until the ownership is transferred to the buyer, in which case the goods become at the risk of the buyer regardless of actually delivery except A. If the seller served the ownership of the goods only to secure the performance by the buyer of his or her obligations under the contract, the ownership is considered transferred to the buyer, who assumes the risk from the time of delivery, or B. If actual delivery was delayed due to the fault or of either the buyer or the seller, the goods are the rest of the party at fault as to any loss which might not have occurred if not for such fault. Thank you, ma'am.
And Argan, what section?
3G po, ma'am.
So, according to Article 1504, unless otherwise agreed, kung wala na agreehan, kung wala na sabutan, the goods remains at the seller's risk until its ownership is transferred to the buyer. So, general rule, ang risk, no, is na kay seller pag wala pa niya na-transfer ang ownership. Pero pag na-transfer na niya ang ownership sa buyer, so ang risk na kay buyer kung mawala ang thing. In which case, the goods become at the risk of the buyer regardless of actual delivery. Except, kunyari, the goods at the risk of the buyer, nado sa risk sa buyer, regardless of actual delivery, except number one, if the seller reserves the ownership of the goods only to secure the performance by the buyer of his or her obligations under the contract, the ownership is considered transferred to the buyer who assumes the risk from the time of the delivery. So, if the seller daw, reserve the seller ang ownership sa goods para lang niya ma-secure na i-perform ni buyer yung obligations or magbayad ang buyer sa iyang mga obligations sa kontrata sa pagpalit sa specific na butang. So the ownership is considered transferred to the buyer who assumes the risk from the time of delivery. So ang ownership is considered transferred sa buyer, no? Kung ang purpose lang ni seller is i-reserve niya ang ownership para lang ma-secure ang pagbayad ni buyer sa iyang gipalit, no? Nagyan po yung presumption ng batas na ang ownership kay i-consider na na-transfer na sa buyer, no? Who assumes the risk from the time of delivery. So gina-assume ni buyer ang risk sa pagkawala sa item at the time of delivery, no? If actual delivery was delayed due to the fault of either the buyer or the seller, the goods are at the risk of the party at fault as to any loss which might not have occurred if not for such fault. So kung ang actual delivery daw was delayed, ang actual na pag-deliver, kay na-delay siya tungod sa kamalian due to the fault of either the buyer or the seller, due to the fault of either the buyer or the seller, ang goods daw kinaa sa risk of the party at fault. Ang goods kinaa sa risk of the party at fault as to any loss which might not have occurred if not for such fault. So atong mga nakasala, kaya wala niya na i-perform yung obligation, ang obligation sa seller is to deliver the thing, ang obligation sa buyer is to pay, no? Wala nila na i-perform ang ilang mga obligation, then nagkahasol, nawala ang item, na-damage ang item. So, the party at fault will bear the risk of loss. Katong nagkamali, yung na-delay sa payment or na-delay sa performance yung obligation shall assume the risk. Okay? Next, pareho po ba sa Marjun Joquino?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes po.
The seller does not have to be the owner of the thing at the time of the perfection of the contract of sale, although he or she must be the owner of the thing at the time of delivery of him or her to transfer ownership to the buyer. This role is subject to exceptions under Article 1505. In case a person sells goods he or she does not own or without the authority or consent of the owner, the buyer does not acquire title to the goods unless the owner of the goods is, by his or her conduct, precluded from denying the seller's authority to sell.
Okay. Joquino, wala pa kay group ha? Pangita o group na mo-adapt sa imuha. Kasi napakay pwede mabuhat para sa ilaha. Kay nabi tay nabi group na part sa inyong curriculum na ay group project. Okay? Anyway, the seller does not have the seller does not have to be the owner of the thing at the time of the perfection of the contract of sale. Although he or she must be the owner of the thing at the time of the delivery for him or her to transfer ownership to the buyer. So at the time na perfect ang kontrata, at the time na nagkaroon ta og meeting of the minds, at the time na perfect ang contract, at the time na nagsabot ta, na mo-enter ta sa contract of sale, dili necessary, dili kailangan na ang seller is the owner of the thing. Dili required sa law na ikaw ang owner of the thing. Kailan required sa law na ikaw yung owner of the thing? Required lang sa law na ikaw yung owner sa thing if i-deliver na nimo ang item sold to the buyer. Kapag i-deliver na nimo ang item na imuang ibaligya dito sa buyer, kana nga instance, kana nga period, kailangan ikaw na yun ang owner sa thing na imong ginabaligya. Okay? Pag i-deliver na nimo ang item, padulong sa buyer, ikaw na yun dapat ang nag-iya sa thing na gusto imong ibaligya. Mauna ang kingon sa batas. Okay. Some exceptions. In case a person sells goods he or she does not own, or without the authority or consent of the owner, the buyer does not acquire the title to the goods unless the owner of the goods is, by his or her conduct, precluded from denying the seller's authority to sell. Kunyari, ang nagbaligya sa thing, kay dili siya yun ang tag-iya. Okay? Pero, afterwards, na-discover sa tinuod niya tag-iya, nagibaligya ang iyang property. For example, ang iyang luna or ang iyang motorsiklo, gibaligya. Pero ang seller, ang tinuod na tag-iya, ang owner, nag-approve lang siya. Sige, okay na seller, ibaligya nimo, approve ko ana. Kumbaga, nag-approve siya subsequently sa sale. So in that case, even if dili ang tag-iya ang seller, pero subsequently, afterwards, after na-discover sa owner, nagibaligya ang iyang property, iyang motorsiklo, or iyang lupa, by his actions, isugot ang owner sa baligya ni seller, then, makonsider pa rin na valid ang sale. Valid ang sale. Letter B and C. Paliw kong basta. Macy Goliban.
Yes po, ma'am. In case of sales sanctioned by statutory authority, for example, a person who lost any personal property may recover it from the person in possession of its unless the latter has acquired the said personal property in good faith at a public sale, in which case the person who lost it, the owner, reimburses the price paid by the person who now possesses it. C. In case of sale sanctioned by judicial authority such as 1. Ordinary execution sale, 2. Judicial foreclosure sales, and 3. Extrajudicial foreclosure sales of real estate mortgages, the government does not warrant the title to property sold by the sheriff at public auction or judicial sales.
Okay, thank you, Goliban. So, in case of, kani po, mas hindi pa ikaw ang owner sa property at the time na gibaligyan nimo ang property, no? So, pwede pa rin ma-acquire ng buyer yung property. Ito yung mga exception sa batas, ha? For example, gibaligya ang motorcycle, okay? And gibaligya siya, nakawat. For example, nawala ang isa ka motorcycle. Tapos, katong missing motorcycle, turned out, gibaligya din siya in a public sale. Then, naay nakapalit through public sale. Kumbaga, gibaligya siya diya sa merkado, sa market, for example. And ang nakapalit, napalit niya in good faith, hindi niya alam na nawala previously nawala pala or kinawa pala yung motor, then napalit niya in a public sale, napalit niya in good faith, napalit niya for value, tama po ang presyo, no? So in that case, dili na dyan mabawi sa original owner yung lost motorcycle. Kasi nabili ng buyer yung motorcycle, number one, in good faith, no? Hindi niya alam na missing motorcycle pala yun. Napalit niya in a public sale. Number three, napalit niya for value. So, ang remedy na pwede gawin ng owner is bilhin niya na lang yung motorcycle doon sa nakabili. Gano'n na lang yung mangyayari. Okay? So, letter C, so yung mga sale na sanctioned or allowed or guided by judicial authority or by the judges, like ordinary execution sale, judicial foreclosure sale, extrajudicial foreclosure sale of real estate mortgages. So those mortgages, ang tag-iya, dili mo yun ang korte, dili mo yun ang judges, but they were sanctioned, approved by the courts na ibaligya ang mga property na subject sila sa mga kaso dati. So, in that case, pwede pa rin magkakaroon ng transfer of ownership maski dili tag-iya ang judge doon sa property na yun. Okay? Next. Paliw kong basa. Kyle Sanchez. Guliban is section
3D po, ma'am.
3D.
Yes.
How about Kyle Sanchez?
Yes, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Section
3G ko, ma'am.
Sige, paliw kong basa.
Gikan diri sa D, ma'am.
Yes.
In sales made in a merchant store or in fair or markets under a free enterprise, the buyer cannot be reasonably accepted to look behind the title of every article he or she buys at these stores. E. In case the seller of goods has valuable title thereto, but his or her title has not been avoided at the time the sale, the buyer acquire ownership in the goods if he or she buys them in good faith or value and without notice of the seller's defect of title. F. If the law allows a parent owner to dispose of the goods as if he or she were the true owner thereof.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kyle Sanchez from section 3G. So in sales made in a merchant store or in fairs or markets under a free enterprise, the buyer can reasonably expected to look behind the title of every article he or she buys. So, niadto ka og palengke. Mangutan na padikan kasi kagiyan ng isda dati. Mupalit kang ukay-ukay. Mangutan na pabalikan isa di ang dating owner ani. So, di ba? So, diyan, magkakaroon pa rin ng transfer of ownership. Kinabili mo siya in a market. Okay? Letter E, in case the seller of goods has voidable title thereto, nag-defect sa title sa seller, pero, but his or her title has not been avoided at the time of the sale, wala namang problema nung time na binaligya niya yung property doon sa buyer at the time na nagbaligyaan na sila. So the buyer acquires ownership in the goods. Magiging owner yung buyer doon sa goods. If he or she buys them in good faith, for value, and without notice, hindi niya alam yung defecto doon sa panag-iya sa seller, no? Sa defect doon sa title ng seller. And lastly, if the law allows the apparent owner to dispose of the goods as if he or she were the true owner thereof. So kung nisugot ang law na the law allows the apparent owner, siya yung parang may-ari ng property na i-dispose yung goods, then yung makakabili doon, matatransfer pa rin yung ownership. Matransfer lang yan po ng ownership sa iyaha. Okay? Next. Thank you, Kyle Sanchez. Next, Joseph Loho.
Hello ma'am, good afternoon po.
Section 3G.
Yes po.
Okay.
If the seller subsequently acquires title, if at the time of sale, a person sells property he or she does not own the another person, his or her subsequent acquisition of title to the property will be validate his or her previous act as he or she will now be able to transfer ownership of the same to the buyer. Article 1506. If the seller has only avoidable title to the goods, the buyer will acquire a good title to the goods, provided her or she buys them. A. Before the title of the sellers has been avoided. B. In a good faith for value. And C. Without notice to the seller's defect of title.
Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you,
So,
ma'am.
okay, if the seller subsequently acquires title, no, at the time if at the time of sale, a person sells a property he or she does not own to another person, pero subsequently na-acquire niya yung title, no, to the property. So yung acquisition niya doon sa title will validate the previous acts niya. So she or he will now be able to transfer ownership of the same to the buyer. So for example, kanila gid ang pinakasimple na example. So the time na gipaligya nimo, dili pa yun ikaw ang owner kay wala pay dili pa at the time na for example, lupa, no? Gibaligyan nimo ang lupa tapos kay gibaligyan ako kay Flo ang lupa. Tapos wala pa lang yun ako na fully paid, no? Pero ongoing na ang installment. Tapos ako gibaligya from Floho to Sanchez, for example. So, subsequently, medyo dili pa yun ako ang tagiya sa yuta. Tapos, na fully paid na ako siya, gibaligyan ako kay Floho. Then si Floho, maiyahan na po ang property once nga ma-fully paid na ko doon sa lupa. Parang ganun siya. Maski wala pa na fully paid si Florence ako, pero ako na fully paid na ako sa Santras, for example, sa subdivision, kung asan ako siya gipalit. So, matransfer lagi ako na ako ang ownership kay Flo. Kaya na fully paid naman ko dito sa Santras. Then subsequently, na-acquire na ako ang title doon sa property and gitransfer na ako siya kay Flo. So, it is as if by subsequent transfer of ownership, kay na-acquire na nako ang titulo by buying it fully paid kay Santras. Santras, gibaligyan ako gibalit ako kay Santras, fully paid ako kay Santras, pero during that time, gibaligyan ko na ako kay Floho, pero ito, na fully paid na ako kay Santras, then na-transfer na ko ang ownership kay Floho, kay fully paid na ako kay Santras. So, ana lang siya, subsequently, afterwards, na-acquire na ko ang title doon sa property. Yun. So, Article 1506, if the seller has only avoidable title to the goods, the buyer will acquire a good title to the goods provided. So, for example, medyo na-depekto, voidable, ang title sa seller dito sa goods, no? So the buyer will acquire a good title to the goods. Makakuha siya good title sa goods if, number one, before the title of the seller has been avoided, napalit niya ang goods before na void ang titulo doon sa goods, no? Before na void. Number two, in good faith and for value. In good faith ka, maayo ang imong pagpalit, wala kay alam nga naaday depekto din sa titulo, sa title, sa goods, no? And napalitin mo siya for value, tama ang pera na imong gibayad, sakto lang po, haom lang po sa presyo sa goods, no? And letter C, without notice of the seller's defect of title. Hindi mo alam yung defecto doon sa title. So in that case, the buyer will acquire a good title to the goods. Magkakaroon siya ng tama nga title or status dito sa goods. Next. Jacques Barrete.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Section.
3D po.
Okay.
Negotiable document of title. The term of document of title to goods includes any bill or of lading, doc warrant, case done, quest,
Kedan.
or kedan or warehouse receipt or order of the delivery of goods, or any other document used in the ordinary course of business in the sale of transfer of goods as proof of the possession or control of the goods, or authorizing or purporting to authorize a processor of the document to transfer or receive either by endorse, endorsement of delivery goods represented by such document.
Okay, thank you, Jacques Barrete from Section 3. Okay, negotiable documents of title, dili kita mag-focus or mag-delve deeper, anin. Na-discuss na ni siyang negotiable documents of title because of the obligations of the seller to deliver the goods to the buyer. Okay? Ang negotiable documents, pero ato lang siyang pakapyaw, okay? The negotiable documents of title is that the document of title to goods includes any bill of lading, dock warrant, kedan, warehouse receipts, or order for the delivery of the goods, or any other document used in the ordinary course of business. So usually, kani sila, mga commercial documents, mga business documents ni sila. Negotiable documents, negotiable instruments, parehas lang yan sila. So ginagamit yan sila to represent na nagkaroon na ng sale or nagkaroon na ng transfer ng goods. So, katong gipakita na ko sa inyo na bill of lading kaganina, so, nanay mga listahan sa mga documents dito, once katong bill of lading, gihawak na siya sa buyer or gihawak na siya sa carrier, it is as if mo to mag-represent na ana day delivery of goods, na transfer na day ang goods kay naa naman ang bill of lading sa kamot ni buyer. Ana ang yang meaning ani. Okay? So, so let's move on with the next slide. Barrete, J. Ford Peñafiel.
Afternoon, ma'am.
Yes.
An eligible document of title is the one of state that the goods referred to such a document of title will be delivered to the bearer of the order of any person named therein. There are three most common forms of document of title. A. Bill of landing.
Lading.
Lading. A contract and receipt at the same time for the transport of the goods and their delivery to the person indicate therein to order of the buyer. It usually involves three persons that carrier to the ship- shipper shipper and their consign. B. Dock warrant in the instrument given by the dock owners to an import of goods stored on that dock as an recognition of the importer's title of the said goods upon production of the bill of lading and
Okay, yan
you,
na.
ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So, thank you. Section. Usang section, Peñafiel. Usang ang section, 3G. Hello.
3G, ma'am. 3G, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. Ina yung connection, ma'am.
Okay, sige. So, ano niya siya? A negotiable document of title is one where it is stated that the goods referred in such document of title will be delivered to the bearer or to the order of any person named therein. So there are three most common forms of documents of title. So, number one, bill of lading. Katulad ipakita na po na example sa inyo kaganina. So it is a contract. At the same time, it is also a resibo. So dito ginapakita kung sa yung mga goods na gitransport, kanino siya dineliver, kanino siya galing, ano yung mga laman niya, ano yung mga weight niya, ganyan. So it usually involves three persons, yung carrier, like for example, the Lorenzo Shipping, the shipper, okay, the consignee, kung saan siya madadak, the seller, the buyer, ganyan. So dock warrant naman is an instrument given by dock owners to an importer of goods stored on the dock as a recognition of the importer's title to the said goods upon production of the bill of lading. So, kapag ang dock warrant naman, di mo gud siya usually agad class ma-pull out sa tawag sa wharf, no, sa daungan ng barko ang mga container vans. So usually magtambay pa na siya somewhere in that area. So mo nang ginatawag na to ng mga dock warrant. Diyan na siya magtambay, so napod na siya ikaukulang mga documents din ha. So next, warehouse receipts. May we call on Irene Anong.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Sa C po ko mag-start, ma'am.
Yes po.
Warehouse receive a contract for goods deposit with a warehouseman, which contains the warehouseman's undertaking to hold and deliver the said goods to a specified person to order or to bearer. According to Article 1508, a negotiable document of title may be negotiated by the library if the goods are deliverable to the bearer or if it is endorsed en blanc or to the bearer by the person to whose order the goods are deliverable or by a subsequent endorse. Article 1509 provides how a negotiable document of title may be negotiated. A negotiable document of a title which states the goods are deliverable to a person specified therein may be negotiated only by the endorsement of said person. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Paul. So, warehouse, ang third example of a negotiable instrument or a negotiable document is a warehouse receipt. So, a warehouse receipt is a contract of goods deposited with a warehouseman. So, which contains warehouseman's undertaking, promise ni warehouseman na sa kanya siya yung muna mag-hold and mag-deliver ng mga goods to a specified person. Sa kanya muna, siya yung muna mag-store, siya yung magtatago, siya mag-inventory. So, muna siya mga examples. Plus, kung makatrabaho mo in the future, kaya manalbaho mang yun mo, mabot mo NCCC, SM, KCC, LYR, kung asa man mo maka-work in the future, maybe ma-expose mo aning nga mga klase ng mga documents. Warehouse receipt, dock warrant, bill of lading. Okay? So, we will not focus or delve deeper into the negotiable documents, negotiable instrument. I already informed you earlier that there is a specific na subject about negotiable instrument. I will i-share ako sa inyo na negotiable instrument law is a subject sa law na never repealed, never amended. Wala gud na siya nausab since 19kupong-kupong negotiable instruments law. But ginagamit gyapon ang concepts niya today. Imagine na anay AI, na anay internet, 19 kupong-kupong wala gyud na rin na amend ang negotiable instruments law. Pakit-on ta mo klasa. Makita ninyo? Makita ninyo?
Yes, ma'am.
Negotiable, mo Negotiable Instruments Law, February 3, 1911. Never, negotiable instruments in general. So, makita ninyo? Yan. Never na siya na usab class. Wa gyud na usab. 1911, imagine. Okay, imagine na ninyo. 1911 pa ang law, never na amend, never na repeal. Pero ginagamit pa rin up until now. Na mga some slight kanagaling, ang concept niya nandun pa rin. About sa mga rules sa warehouse, receipts, bill of lading, nandun pa rin yung concept, pero never na usab ang law. Ana siya. Okay? So, para may imagine nyo lang. Next. Slide number 41. Kung sa galing section si Irene Anong,
3G po, ma'am.
3G, nawala lagi siya. Okay, let's go with Geran Paul De Vera.
Excuse me, ma'am. Nakigamit ako account po. Basubas Marjeline, ma'am, 3G.
Basubas Marjorie.
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay, Basubas. Yes po. Paliw ko
Tanang-
basa.
According to Article 1510, if the word to negotiable, non-negotiable, or the like are placed on a document of title in which the goods are to be delivered, to order, or to bear, such word do not have any effect on such document of title which continued to be negotiable. Article 1511 provides that a non-negotiable document of title cannot be negotiated, but it can be transferred by delivery, in which case the transferee acquires only the rights stated in Article 1514. Article 1513 provides the rights of a person to whom negotiable documents of title has been duly negotiated, either by delivery.
Okay, sige, doon na lang. Okay. So, thank you, Basubas. Admit, meron pang isa. Okay, so, I told you earlier na hindi kita mag-focus sa negotiable instruments, right? So, gi-run through lang nato siya, na-touch upan lang nato negotiable instrument because of the concept of delivery, no? So, and I already informed you earlier na there's a separate law for negotiable instruments. Next, we will, sige, ito stop. Okay, babasahon lang nato after kay Basubas, Mahinay Nathaniel, Nathan, FM3D.
Good afternoon po, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am. Balik ko lang po na akong basa ng Article 1513. Article
1514.
1513 provides 15. Sige, ma'am. Article 1514 provides the rights of a person to whom a negotiable document of title has been transferred, which means it was not negotiated, as well as the rights of the transferee of a non-negotiable document. Article 1515. If an order document of title has been delivered without endorsement, the transferee has the right to compel the transferor to endorse the document unless a contrary intention appears. Example, when the intention of the parties is that the document should be merely transferred.
So, kani siya class, about mga pagpasapasa na ni sa mga dokumento. Okay? So, dili na ta mag-delve deeper about this. Okay, this is a separate law. negotiable instruments law. This is not about contract of sale. Next. After Mahinay, we'll go to Angelo Flores of FM3D. Isa sa mga bright na student.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Um, a creditor of a person who is the owner of negotiable document of little can ask the court for injunction in attaching such document of title or in satisfying the claim. This is a court remedy to help creditor who seeks to get a negotiable document covering the goods which cannot readily be attached or levied upon using ordinary legal process under Article 1590.
Okay, so a creditor of a person who is the owner of a negotiable document of title can ask the court for injunction in attaching such document of title or in satisfying the claim. This is a court remedy. When we talk about injunction, gina-prevent ni mo, nag-a-ask ka sa court for help. Niyato ka sa court, niyato kay judge, asking judge for help. Judge, tabaki ko. Dili na to ni ipabuhat, dili na to ni ipadayon. Okay, that's the concept of injunction. This is a court remedy, no, na dili niyo mo gusto ipagamit ang negotiable document. Okay, dili siya dapat i-attach, dili dapat siya i-levy, no? So, mo na siya ang concept ani nga kuan ani again, dili na mag-focus kay sa negotiable instrument kay touch lang nato siya gamay but we will not focus on them, okay? Kaya important, place and time of delivery. May we call on Stephen Daano. Stephen Daano.
Ma'am, may hapon, ma'am.
Yes po.
Place and time of delivery. Article 1521 provides the rules in determining the place of delivery of the goods. A. If there in an agreement expressed or implied between the parties, the place of delivery of the goods sold is that agreed upon by them. B. If there is no agreement, the place of delivery is that determined by usage of trade.
Okay, thank you. So, that's important ni. So, place and time of delivery. Asa i-deliver, kamusta i-deliver. So, ang Article 1521, nag-provide siya og rules. Okay, kung as to the place of delivery. So, number one, if there is an agreement, then katong agreement ang sundon. So, kung agreement may express, ibig sabihin nasabutan yun, na nakasulat, nagstorya, so yun yung sundin. Implied by their actions. Gimuso ba? Dito ang delivery. Dito. Na. Or na by their actions. Ma-distinguish, ma-identify na to as ang place of delivery, then doon i-deliver. Second, kung walang agreement, the place of delivery is that determined by usage of trade. Kung usa ang usual, asa ba dapat i-deliver ang baka? Kung mag-deliver kang baka, sa slaughterhouse or sa farm, depende, by usage of trade. Okay? Next, palihog ko ba sa si Daano is section 1. Section
3G po, ma'am.
3G.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, si Eden Grace Ducanes,
Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon po.
3G.
Yes, ma'am. 3G po.
Okay.
If there is no agreement and there is also no prevailing usage of trade, the place of delivery is the seller's place of the business. Otherwise, his or her place residence. D. In case of a contract of sales of specific goods that the parties knew at the time of sales were in some other place, then that place is the place of delivery. If the seller is under the contract of sale, bound to send the goods to the buyer, but the time for sending is not fixed, the seller must send them within a reasonable time.
Okay, thank you, Eden. So if there's no place, there's no agreement, and there's no prevailing usage of trade, wala tayo nakabalo, sa gyud sila magbaligyaanay, as unusual, sa market, sa ranch, sa farm. So the place of delivery is the seller's place of business. Kung asa ang lugar na usually ginakonduct ni seller ang iyang business, dito i-deliver. Kung wala po siyang place of business, kay online siya, it is a place of residence. Okay? And lastly, in case of a contract of sale of specific goods, no, specific or determinate na goods, the parties and the parties knew at the time of sale were in some other place, then that place is the place of delivery. Okay? Kung asa nabaligya ang property at the time of sale were in some other place, in that kind of place, then that kind of place, mo na ang place of delivery. If the seller is under the contract of sale, bound to send the goods to the buyer, but the time of sending is not fixed, wala kakabalo ka sa time and date of sending, the seller must send them within a reasonable time. So for example, if nagbaligya ka o isda, no? Isda. Hindi mo siya dapat i-deliver after a month kaya magtubok siya, di ba? So, ibaligyan mo siya, i-deliver mo siya sa tama na time po, like 2 or 3 days or a day after kaya magtubok siya, di ba? So, yun na. So, what are the factors in determining what is a reasonable time? May I call on Dayan Makaungat. Dayan Makaungat. Bago lang nilisulot si Dayan. Okay. Toriales. Toriales.
Hapon, ma'am.
May hapon. Paliw ko basta sa slide 46.
Unsa galitong pangutana, ma'am?
Palihog ko ba sa kang section?
3G po, ma'am.
Palihog ko basa sa factors kani slide 46.
And determine what reasonable time is. Ay, kanina, ma'am. Kaning following considered, ma'am.
Basahan tanan.
In determining what reasonable time is, the following are considered: A, the character of the goods, B, the purpose for which they are intended, C, the ability of the seller to produce the goods if they are to be manufactured, D, the facilities available for transportation and distance the goods must be carried, and E, the usual course of business in the particular trade.
Okay. So, paano natin masabi na reasonable time yung pag-deliver ng goods? So, number 1, the character of the goods. Kung kanang goods na kay isda, for example, so perishable, so dapat i-deliver siya asa. Number 2, purpose for which they are intended. Kung nagpag-deliver ka o gown, wedding gown, so dapat i-deliver mo siya few days before the wedding, dili on the wedding day, di ba? Number 3, the ability of the seller to produce the goods if they are to be manufactured. So for example, mag-manufacture siya o tables and chairs. So, i-deliver mo, magdepende siya kung kailan matatapos yung pag-manufacture ng table and chairs. Diba? Number 4, facilities available for transportation and distance the goods must be carried. So, i-consider niya po na time sa pag-transport sa goods na imuang ibaligya. Letter E, the usual course of business in a particular trade. So, kung sa man yun ang usual na delivery time sa particular items. So, would it take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, di ba? So, usual course of business in a particular trade. Next, may I call on Desiree Jean P. and Cabo?
Afternoon po, ma'am.
Afternoon.
According to Article 1522, the buyer may reject the goods of the seller delivers a quantity of goods to the buyer that is less than the seller contracted to sell. But if he or she accept or retain them and is aware that the seller is not going to perform the contract in full, he or she must pay for them at the contract rate. Remedies of unpaid seller. In a contract of sale, the obligation of the parties are reciprocal, being a bilateral contract. The seller is obliged to deliver the thing sold, while the buyer has the obligation to pay the price.
Okay, thank you so much. Um, in Article 1522, the buyer may reject the goods if the seller delivers a quantity of goods to the buyer that is less than the seller contracted to sell. So for example, based sa ilang kontrata, dapat i-deliver ni seller kay 100 sacks of rice. Tapos ang i-deliver lang kay ni seller kay buyer is 50 sacks of rice. So, na-day right ang buyer na i-reject ang delivery ni seller kasi uy, di man ikumpleto. Kwan raman ni, 50 sacks of rice lang man ni. So, pwede niya i-reject. Si buyer, pwede i-reject ni buyer yung delivery. Pero pwede rin, may option rin yung buyer na i-accept yung delivery. Pwede niya rin tanggapin yung delivery. Okay? So, dawato niya ang delivery. Tapos, ang bayaran niya lang is yung 50 sacks of rice based doon sa na-agreehan nila ng contract rate or based doon sa na-agreehan nila ng presyo sa kontrata. Okay? So, yun yung Article 1522. So, ano naman yung remedies ng unpaid seller? Yung seller na hindi nabayaran. So, in a contract of sale, the obligations of the parties are reciprocal. So, yun yung sabi ko. So, yung seller, ang obligation niya is to deliver the goods to the buyer. Yung buyer, yung obligation niya is to pay the price. Okay? So, bilateral. Silang dalawa may obligations doon sa contract. Okay? So, ano yung magiging remedies ng unpaid seller given na bilateral yung obligations? So, may I call on Cristel Lorilia. Cristel Lorilia. Sa section si Lorilia? Okay. Wala siya. Next, si Arnel Bagsik. Arnel Bagsik.
Sound? The following are the remedies of an unpaid seller of goods, to wit: A. A lien on the goods or right to retain them for the price while in his or his possession. B. A right of stopping the goods in transit in case of insolvency of the buyers. C. A right of release. And D. A right to rescind the sales. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Arnel Bagsik. So, these are the remedies kapag mga remedyo sa seller na wala na bayaran. Wala na bayaran. Number one, a lien on the goods or right to retain them for the price while in his or her possession. So, nasa right, ang tawag ni class is possessory lien. Nasa right na ang seller na wala na bayaran, nasa right na i-retain ang property na sa iya lang. Kasi wala siya nabayaran, so di niya i-deliver. Okay? Number two, a right of stopping the goods in transit in case of insolvency of the buyer. So na siya, ang seller po, na nawala na bayaran, na po siya right na ipadayon, i-stop ang pag-deliver sa goods or sa item. Okay? Number 3, a right of resale. Pwede niya ibaligya sa other people. Letter D, a right to rescind the sale. Right to cancel the sale. Pwede na po siya right na i-cancel ang pagbaligya. Okay? So muna ang mga rights sa usa ka unpaid seller. So usa ka seller na wala na bayaran. Okay, next slide, may i-call on Kihada, Angeline. Bagsik, usang section ka. Bagsik. Usang
3G.
section. 3G. Si Kihada.
Ako, ma'am. 3G, ma'am.
Okay. Pwede ko ba sa
Possessory lane. Possessory lane refers to the right of seller to retain the goods or to withhold delivery of said goods. Articles 1527 provides the instance when the unpaid seller who is possession of the goods and entitled to retain possession of them until the payment of tender of the price. A. In the absence of many stipulation as to credit, the seller is entitled to the payment of the price of the same time that he or she transferred the possession of the goods to the buyer. As such, seller has always a lien upon the goods which he sells under the payment or tender of his price. Thank you, ma'am.
Possessory lien refers to the right of the seller, karapatan sa seller to retain the goods or to withhold delivery of said goods. So right sa seller nga dili niya i-retain lang niya na sa iya ang goods na ibaligya, no? Or i-withhold ang delivery, dili ipadayon ang delivery kay wala man siya nabayaran. So ang Article 1527 naghahatag og sitwasyon nga ang unpaid seller, ang wala na bayaran na seller, nga in possession sa goods, na siya ang nagulit sa goods, is entitled to retain possession of them. Entitled siya to retain possession, na sa kanya pa rin yung possession, until the payment or tender of the price. Until ihatag lang niya ang goods kapag nabayaran na siya. So in the absence of any stipulation, as to the credit, no, as to the utang, kung wala tayo nasabutan sa utang, the seller is entitled to the payment of the price. Entitled yung seller na mabayaran siya. No, at the same time, he or she transfers the goods or possession of the goods to the buyer. As such, the seller has always a lien. Meron talaga siyang lien doon sa property. Pwede niyang hindi i-transfer yung property hanggang sa mabayaran siya. Okay? Next. Thank you, Kihada. Next. Angeline Villapania.
Yes, ma'am. Ay hapon, ma'am.
Yes po.
Dili ko mag-start sa B, ma'am.
Yes po. Section
3G po, ma'am. B. Under a sale and credit, the buyer is entitled to the possession of the goods without paying the price. But if the term of credit has expired and the price becomes due, the buyer loses his or her right, and the seller can exercise his or her possessory lien. C. In case of insolvency of the buyer, the possessory lien on the seller is revived although the time for payment of the price has not arrived.
Okay, thank you. So under a sale on credit, the buyer is entitled to the possession of the goods without paying the price. But if the term of credit has expired and the price becomes due, the buyer loses his or her rights and the seller can exercise his or her possessory lien. So kung inutang niyan siya, inutang na pagbaligya sa usa ka goods or sa property, So the buyer is entitled to the possession of the goods. Pwedeng sa kanya lang muna yung goods. Kahit hindi nyo bayaran yung price, okay? Pero if the term of credit, no, yung period na dapat mabayaran mo na yung utang mo kay seller, wala na, humana, expired na. So the buyer also loses yung right niya doon sa goods, no? So wala na po siya right na mag-possess sa goods. So the seller can exercise his or her possessory lien. Ibig sabihin, pwede niya i-retain yung property sa kanya. Kasi hindi magbayad yung buyer. Now, in case of insolvency of the buyer, kunyari na pordoy ang buyer, the possessory lien of the seller is revived, although the time for payment of the price does not arrive. So, kung napordoy ang buyer, the possessory lien, ang right ng seller na i-retain yung goods, yung object sa kanya, is revived, no? Although the time for payment, even if yung deadline sa pagbayad ng utang ay hindi pa nag-arrive, na-insolvent, may balita na tayo na napordoy ang buyer, so pwede na ni-exercise ni unpaid seller yung right niya to possess the object. Okay? Object na sale. Okay? So, class, dili na lang tayo mag-stop kasi tawag dito para sabay-sabay lang mo together with the previous na ano. So, palihog na lang ko og attendance, dini. Palihog na lang ko og attendance. Dili sa group chat, no? Kay para palihog na lang ko, attendance. Yan. Very good.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes po.
Nanada ko yung grupo, ma'am.
Unsa kang group?
Group 3 ko, ma'am.
Sige, palihog na lang ko o dito ibutang sa group chat, ha? Kaya para makuguto ako murag note. Ha?
Sige, ma'am.
Dito ibutang kay para ma-add ka. Butang lang dito, ma'am, na nakoy group, tapos pakipin, ha? Jukino?
Yes, ma'am.
Kay wala kay grado sa group project. Napaisa dito, ako kinsa to, walay grupo.
Yes,
Hindi rin
ma'am.
ako obligation to remind you people, ha? Kay dagko na mo.
Sige, ma'am.
Ayun na ako attendance.